ancestors, source, guides. What does the collective need to know for the week of October 15th? Beginning of the week, we have Major Arcana number 2, Inner Voice. So you can see all the colors and what's going on here. The inner voice speaks not in words, but in the wordless language of the heart. It is like an oracle who only speaks the truth. If it had a face, it would be like the face at the center of this card, alert, watchful, and able to help both the dark and the light, symbolized by the 2 hands holding the crystal. The crystal itself represents the clarity that comes from transcending all dualities. The inner voice can also be playful as it dives deep into the emotions and emerges again to soar towards the sky. Like 2 dolphins dancing in the waters of life, it is connected with the cosmos through the crescent moon crown and the earth as represented by the green leaves on the figure's kimono. There are times in our lives when too many voices seem to be pulling us this way and that. Our very confusion in such situations is a reminder to seek silence and centering within. Only then are we able to hear our truth. This card is representative of seeking your own guidance. Go to the space that is in your heart and talk to it, communicate with it, tell it everything, and then listen. It will speak back to you. It will give you feelings and sensations. It will give you, depending on what your clairs are, it will tell you in a few different ways, or it may bring you things in your experience over the next couple of days to give you clarity about things. So have that conversation with your deep inner self. Midweek, we have the 5 of Rainbows. Rainbows are the physical, so they would be pentacles in a standard deck. This card features a child standing outside of a gate that appears to be locked, but if you look a little closer, that lock is not locked. The colors of the card remind me also, like, feeling left out, excluded, small. These things are things that can be rooted in childhood and reinforced in our relationships in our adulthood. That gate isn't locked. You might need to do something or say something or change your behavior in a way that others hear you in a different way, or ask questions that you haven't asked before to the right people who will give you true answers. The small child in this card is standing on one side of a gate, looking through it. He is so small and so convinced that he can't get through. He can't see that the chain holding the gate is not locked. All he has to do is open it. Whenever we feel left out or excluded, it brings up this feeling of being a small, helpless child. It is not surprising, as the feeling is deeply rooted in our earliest childhood experiences. The problem is that because it's so deeply rooted, it plays over and over again, like a tape in our lives. You have the opportunity now to stop the tape, to quit tormenting yourself with ideas that you are somehow not enough to be accepted and included. Recognize the roots of these feelings in the past and let go of the old pain. It will bring you the clarity to see how you can open the gate and enter that which you most long to become. So there's a lot of different ways this might show up. But yes, feeling small, feeling inferior, what they call imposter syndrome, I believe, is trauma. It's the results of trauma. Nobody wants to run around diagnosing people with things, so we're just going to say not the clinical version of trauma, okay? This is trauma like repeated. Did you ever bump your toe on the wall and then a couple days later did it again? Like that. Those are traumas to your body, and you can have trauma to your psyche, to your emotional body, to your heart. And this is about looking at it, addressing it, that inner. Let us look at innocence, and then the old man got a little grasshopper and the cherry blossoms in his expression. The old man in this card radiates a childlike delight in the world. There is a sense of grace surrounding him, as if he is at home with himself and with what life has brought. He seems to be having a playful communication with the praying mantis on his finger, as if the two of them are the greatest friends. Pink flowers cascading around him represent a time of letting go, relaxation, and sweetness. They are a response to his presence, a reflection of his own qualities. The innocence that comes from a deep experience of life is childlike, but not childish. The innocence of children is beautiful, but ignorant. It will be replaced by mistrust and doubt as the child grows and learns that the world can be a dangerous and threatening place. But the innocence of a life lived fully has a quality of wisdom and acceptance of the ever-changing wonder of life. To me, this card represents that relaxed wisdom and communication that comes with not needing anything from what's around you. He doesn't need the grasshopper to entertain him. He doesn't need the cherry blossoms to be there. They are all responding to him. To me, it's a reflection of the type of mastery you can receive when you are with your heart and you allow that heart to communicate with and experience your moment, the moment, this moment. So, creative pattern breakers, it looks like there could be some overwhelm starting at the beginning of this week. I don't like this day. This day's a holiday here in this country, and it needs to change. But yes, this is, maybe you're in overwhelm, maybe you're having some overstimulation of some kind. Seek yourself, that quiet space inside of yourself that is peace. Lay everything out, tell him everything, listen. Tell him like it's something else. It's your heart. Tell your heart everything. Tell your heart everything. And then listen. Sometimes your heart will say things back to you. Hug your inner child while you're there. Hug your inner teenager. Hug the parts of you that other people don't hug. Do all of that. And seek that inner voice. Connect to it. Listen to it. Get to know it get to know it if you haven't already. You may encounter some situations that challenge you in the middle of the week. Maybe it brings up imposter syndrome. Maybe it is a situation where somebody is trying to intentionally make you feel small. You have forewarning by looking at this reading to address your own wounds, even if the situation is perpetuated or perpetrated by somebody else. You address yourself first, and then address yourself, get grounded, address those wounds, and then do what's necessary, right? Like before you move, make sure you take care of yourself. That's what I'm reading here. Later in the week, looks like perhaps the results will be you being able to be in your moment, you being able to feel that sense of, it's not even accomplishment, just being able to bring up that inner child piece of you, to experience your environment in that way. How wonderful and wondrous are these moments. And this feels like perhaps an intense, but perhaps not, week that moves from confusion, perhaps maybe conflict even, from looking at these two cards, right? If you have your inner guidance, if you're feeling small, you're going to recognize that really, really quickly and be able to do something about it. So seeking your inner guidance, checking in with yourself about past wounds, about feeling too small, left out, not being able to express your fullest self. Being able to be in that innocent, childlike place gives you access to these things that you have been working on or aligning to, right? This is a connection to self. This is a recognition of divorced pieces of self, perhaps integration of that, and then being able to relax in the moment, even if it's just 5 minutes. Looks like this is likely to be a full and promising week. Please remember to check in with your support system. If you do not yet have one, reach out to communities that seem like they might be like you. Spend some time with yourself. Spend some time with safe socials this week. And remember, you got this. And as always, please remember to subscribe to my channel. Please share, comment, like, and I'll see you in the next one.